What is up, guys? Welcome back to another live stream. In today's live stream, as you can see by the title, we're going to be talking about the world's scariest places. Haunted, creepy, and abandoned. Rob gave me this book. This is what some of the live streams are going to be about, and also the upcoming podcasts starting this coming Thursday, a week from today, will be the first podcast, and it'll talk about the history of a couple places that are inside of this book. The first one we're going to talk about tonight is in California. It's called the Winchester Mystery House. This is going to be the first one we talk about here tonight. Is the Winchester Mystery House. I have never even heard of this place, but it's supposedly somewhere in California, but there is a ton, and I mean a ton, of places in here to talk about. We have plenty to talk about on live streams and the podcast coming next week. I'm not using StreamYard because StreamYard would not, for some reason, it would not work for me tonight, so I'm using Streamlabs, so I'm sorry. Ain't gonna be able to have a panel up here, but hopefully next week's live stream, StreamYard will be back to working properly, and I am able to use it. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get right on into this Winchester Mystery House. It is in San Jose, California. So, here we go. The little intro they give me. Did guilt over her husband's guns drive a widow to a project that spun out of control? Just that one little intro sounds creepy. But we're going to read about this. Got a whole page. Gonna read about this, and we'll try to find one more to do for tonight, maybe possibly two more, and then y'all will hear more places next week on Thursday's podcast. But before we get into this, hey, what's up, Jenny? Thank you. I am definitely excited about that. What's up, Amora? Definitely excited about the monetization. Fine, it took about 2 years, but we did it. Fine, we just hit it literally yesterday. But for the ones just coming in here, like I said, we're going to be talking about the world's scariest places tonight. We'll have 2 or 3 to talk about tonight's stream, and then next week on Thursday's podcast, I will be talking about some more that will be dropping next Thursday. But before we get into this, I have another video, my 4th vlog coming out on Saturday. And then I have a couple videos that Rob filmed here a couple days ago that I will be uploading next week. What's up, Josh? What is up? Josh, we're only a couple weeks away from April, man. Only a couple weeks. It is this close. It is almost here. But monetization is definitely something that once it gets going, we'll be doing good. Today's literally been my first full day having it, so nothing has really gotten going yet, but probably within the next week or two, everything will get going. So, but let's go ahead and get right into this Winchester mystery house. Like I said, it is in San Jose, California. So, and if you guys missed the little intro, I'll read it again. Did guilt over a husband's guns drive a widow to a project that spun out of control? So let me silence my phone because I don't want that going off the whole stream. But yep, April coming up, and then maybe one day next week, me, Rob, and Nubs is gonna go back to the Ward Shadow House and do the Ouija board with the Dybbuk box. And I can show you guys the Dybbuk box. Let's see. Yeah, here's the Dybbuk box. I do have a cross on it at the moment just to protect it, because I really don't know what's actually inside of this thing. Most of them have a ring in it, but we will find out next week when we decide to open it. So definitely gonna be a crazy one there. But let's get right on into this one. So, driven by grief, guilt, madness, or some combination of the three, Sarah Winchester took her $20.5 million inheritance and half stake in the Winchester Repeating Arms Company after her husband's death and poured it into the world's most outrageous home improvement project. The Winchester Mystery House in San Jose, California is a sprawling 7-story architectural oddity spanning 24,000 square feet with 160 rooms, 40 bedrooms, 13 bathrooms, 10,000 windows, 2,000 doors, and a total of 47 fireplaces. Stairs that did end into ceilings and doors that opened to walls. Why Sarah embarked on the projects remains unclear, but it seems to have been begun when her firearms magnate husband died in 1881. That's when the already emotional, fragile woman who never got over the loss of a newborn 15 years earlier turned to a medium to seek advice. The medium mentioned that she must start a new life and build a home for yourselves and for the spirits who have fallen from this terrible weapon. The medium supposedly told her, "You can never stop building the house. If you continue building, you will live, stop, and you will die." Starting with a 6-room home in 1886. That's exactly how things went for Sarah, who often had her workers toiling around the clock. She constantly changed plans and added new wings and features with mystical qualities seemingly tied to a numerological system only she understood. Only her death in 1922 brought construction to a halt, and to this day, the house is a popular attraction said to receive the occasional visit from Sarah herself. Many people have seen people wandering through her home. And somebody mentioned here that one time her spirit walked through the corridors of the house in a which way it is personal to her. The house has a sweet and loving spirit. So that is the Winchester Mystery House. I'll see if I can find a picture, because there's no picture on here. A chicken bone? Possibly. Let's see if we can find a picture. Because there's no picture in this book whatsoever. There it is. Alright, let's see here. Trying to find a picture. Here we go. Alright. Yeah, Amor. It says a couple stairways. Let's see here. Stairways that did end into ceilings and doors that open into walls, which is very creepy. Here we go. Alright, here's a picture of the house. Here's a picture of the house. Let me try to full screen it. Here we go. There's a picture of the house. That is the outside of the house. I don't know when this picture was taken, but it's definitely one to keep in mind. I know it's all the way in California, but maybe soon, a couple of years, we might take a trip. Oh, we're gonna find 2 more to do for tonight, and that'll do it. Let's see. I mean, we got places all over the world. Some of these I ain't never even heard of. Ooh. Here we go. This is in China. It is called the Forbidden City. Yeah, Amor, I guess it would be used. I mean, confuse the spirits where they was going and stuff. I really couldn't tell you that. You know, right. So let's move into the Forbidden City here. This is in China. Don't know exactly where in China, but we'll probably read and find out. But let's get into it. So the intro: a faceless woman and strange beast emerge after dark in Beijing's palace. So it's in Beijing. Okay, there we go. And it says here, as recently as the 1990s, guards chased a woman they thought had broken into the grounds at night, only to see she had no face. Oof. Alright, well, let's get reading here. 600 years of executions, poisonings, literal backstabbings, and any number of other murders and betrayals brought on by palace intrigue have left a long trail of bodies and a few restless spirits. As soon as Beijing's imperial palace opened to the public for the first time in the late 1940s, the ghost and poltergeist began vying for attention in the Forbidden City. A sobbing woman, sometimes dressed in all white, sometimes in all black, strolls the grounds. When spotted, she'll turn as if to say something, revealing a head with no face, only long black hair. Guards also report seeing strange animals darting about, but only at night, where eunuchs and kabukins once roamed and plotted to get closer to the Chinese emperor. In fact, rumors long swirled that the reason for the Forbidden City never stayed open past 5 p.m. is because of the paranormal activity. That briefly changed in 2019 when it opened at night for the first time as part of the celebration of Lantern Day on the 15th of the new year. Only 3,000 people were allowed within the walls for the spectacle of illuminated red lanterns to capture what it must have looked like for the royal courts centuries ago. The opera performed, an image of a treasured old scroll was projected onto the palace roofs. But there was no reports of ghosts appearing in the house that night. Ooh. Yeah, that's probably why, Amor. It doesn't say anything about it, but it's probably a pretty good reason why. Alright, we're gonna go maybe find 1 to 2 more here, and we will call this one. And then we'll have a vlog dropping Saturday, and then the podcast will be starting back up a week from today, which is next Thursday. They will be starting back up. Don't know exactly what time I'm going to drop it yet. I'll probably let you guys know that. Probably Monday or Tuesday. It'll probably drop sometime in the afternoon on Thursday. We'll just see what plays. The Forbidden City. Yeah, it was used in a couple movies, I think. I think it was used in like 2 or 3 different movies. Let's see here. See what movies it was used in. Let's see here. The movie The Last Emperor of 1987 was the first movie to be filmed in the Forbidden City. See here. There's also been a couple documentaries about it on the National Geographic channel, but the only actual movie I seen is The Last Emperor, but that was back in 1987. So it could possibly still be running. I know it said 2019 they had some type of event, so that was only 3 years ago, so it possibly could still be up and running to this day. Here we go. We got the next one. This is in Australia. It's called Port Arthur, the most brutal 19th century penal colony, is the backdrop for a modern massacre. Oof. Even before Martin Bryant pulled a semi-automatic rifle from a bag in 1996 and started killing everybody in sight, this one-time penal colony had a dark reputation for pain, torture, and death. During the 18th and 19th centuries, the British Empire emptied its jails and sent its criminals halfway around the world by ship to Australia in what history calls the transportation. The worst of the lot, those who still got into trouble after their arrival down under, got a one-way ticket to Port Arthur on the island state of Tasmania. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's well guarded. There's no doubt in that. If it's still running, it's pretty much guarded. But more than 12,000 men endured whippings, chain gangs, meager rations, and solitary confinement from 1833 until 1877. Author Robert Hughes called Australia's Dachau, where the prison graveyard contains 1,646 plots, but only 180 of them are, which are mostly prison staff and soldiers, are marked. So out of the almost 1,700 graves, only 180 of them are actually marked. So that's weird. Try to fix the camera here. There we go. Alright. Port Arthur has always dominated the popular historical imagination in Australia as the emblem of the mysteries of transportation. After it was closed, the prison buildings were abandoned and decayed until the site was converted into a historical area and popular tourist destination, offering nighttime ghost tours in discreet buildings by lantern light. Reports of ghost sightings and strange occurrences go as far back as 1870. With photos of strange apparitions displayed in the visitor center. Among the visitors to the colony was Bryant, a local Tasmanian with a history of psychological and behavioral problems. Apparently angry and despondent over a financial dispute, he opened fire in the cafe on the grounds, killing 35 people and wounding 23 in the worst mass murder in Australia's history. Bryant was captured the next day, confessed, and was given 35 life sentences in a case that led to a number of gun control reforms in the country. That is wild. That is a lot of graves. Out of 6,500 graves, only 180 is actually marked. That's crazy. And those are only prison staff and soldiers. The rest of them are probably the actual inmates that died there, or people who just was angry. So we're gonna do one more for tonight, and then we'll do more next week. Y'all will see probably 3 to 4 more on next week's podcast. But let's see. Trying to find some good ones. Let's see here. Restless spirits. Oh, we're getting into cemeteries. Here we go. We'll do this one. This is Greyfriars Kirkyard in Scotland. Ain't much history to this place, but it's got what they call the Black Mausoleum, where locals claim those who enter the tomb have been scratched and bruised. A dog named Greyfriars Bobby guarded his master's grave for 14 years until his death in 1872. Wow. Alright, let's get into this because looks to be interesting. Alright. A 17th century Scottish lawyer, so ruthless he was known as Bloody Mackenzie for his persecution of Presbyterian Covenanters. George Mackenzie was among the most feared and hated men in history. Not even death changed his cruel ways. Just as Scottish poet Robert Louis Stevenson, who said of Mackenzie, when a man's soul... I can't even read that word. Alright. I don't know what that word says. Who knows? So we'll just skip that. We'll go to this part. His body will scarce lie quiet in a tomb, however costly. Sometime or other the door must open and he must come forth in the abhorred garments of the grave. Ed Mackenzie did in 1999 when locals claim a homeless man seeking shelter made the mistake of breaking into the Black Mausoleum in Greyfriars, where Mackenzie was interred after his death in 1691, unleashing what is widely considered the world's nastiest ghost. Hundreds of visitors have reported been physically attacked by the Mackenzie poltergeist, leaving them with injuries as serious as broken bones. One local physic was said to have been killed by the angry spirit. Established in the 16th century in Edinburgh, Greyfriars checks all the boxes for a scary cemetery. Angels of death carvings decorate the tombstones and the graves that are surrounded by iron gates to protect them from 19th century body snatchers, supplying the University of Edinburgh's medical school. It is the kind of setting that could send a creative mind to all kinds of dark places. A once unknown writer named J.K. Rowling used to hang out next door at the Elephant House Cafe, crafting what would become the first Harry Potter book. So that is quite interesting. So, you guys will see more on this book within the podcasts, and we'll try to do some more each week on live streams as well. And definitely do more in the podcast. Each podcast will probably have 4 to 5 places in it where we're talking about the history. But the first podcast, like I said, will be coming next Thursday. Probably will be dropping sometime in the afternoon, but like I said, I'll keep you guys updated on that. But other than that, that's really all I gotta say for tonight. Just wanted to do a quick little live stream, and why not talk about some places to get y'all ready for the podcast coming next week, because the podcasts are going to be awesome. I can't wait to start them back up.